It's actually the one I see the most. Luisa's status within the church. And again, this is predominantly misunderstanding of people that are outside of the divine will, looking in, and maybe reading some commentary that could be old from regarding her Book of Heaven or something about Luisa from the past. And the definitions, just to paraphrase the comments, Luisa is not approved by the church, or Luisa's writings are not approved by the church. Well, there's a current update. So let's get this current to where we are today. So let's start back in 1994. Luisa Piccarreta's cause at the diocesan level began. So they do not do that for heretics or people that have produced heretical writings. 1997, two theologians commissioned by the church review Luisa's writings, submit their reports stating that they found nothing contrary to the Catholic faith or morals. 2004, Luisa's confessor and ardent supporter of the divine will and Luisa's writings was canonized, Saint Annabelle de Francia. 2005, the diocesan process was concluded and they recommended her cause and passed it to Rome. And Rome opened their investigation the following year in 2006. So at that level, they brought in two priest censors in 2010, and they were appointed, in this case, by the Holy See. They came back with the exact same verdict as in 1997. They found no issues concerning anything contrary to the Catholic faith or morals, and found nothing wrong or adverse with Luisa's writings. And that being said, in 2011, I mentioned that the Benedictines, they started two orders. One, the Daughters of the Divine Will, and I believe the Monks of the Divine Will were followed right after that. And in their rule states they read the writings of Luisa, the Book of Heaven, and her other writings. And that's part of their rule of life. In 2012, the faculty of the Pontifical Gregorian University of Rome approves Father Iannucci's PhD thesis concerning and supporting Luisa's writings. And in 2015, the Vatican publishes a highly favorable biography of Luisa called The Son of My Will. So you see, folks, where this is going. Now, this being said, this is highly favorable. Now, the church has not canonized Luisa yet. That's still in process. So where we are is we're kind of like in the story in the New Testament of the empty tomb, where the apostles are told about the empty tomb where Jesus rising from the dead, and they hurry and run to the tomb, and St. John gets there first, but he does not go in. He waits outside the tomb for Peter to arrive. And that's where we are right now. We're waiting for Peter. And we're doing just like St. John did back then. We're waiting for Peter to come and enter the tomb first. And I think that's the proper way of looking at it. we're looking at it like we want the church to do this, we need the church to do this, and the church will do it. And that's where we are. And so we find ourselves waiting at the door for Peter, who, according to Jesus, will arrive, because to an eternal God is like it's already happened. Thank you for joining us on this video. And there are other videos on Elijah Cloak's YouTube channels. There's one on the 4th degree, which we mentioned a few times about the 4 degrees. That one is focused on the 4th. And one relating the mystics of Carmel and Luisa Piccarreta. And here's some excellent sources for the divine will. I recently added Facebook groups. That's a good way, especially these days where you might be still in lockdown, of having some community in the divine will. Again, thank you for joining.